Namaste. In today's session, we will discuss about the soft and hard X-ray. That is a part of general radiation, the second in the BSc second semester. These soft and hard X-ray basis on the energies of the X-ray. For the hard X-ray is more useful for the treatment of general, for the imaging of general radiography and the general radiography. Okay. So the X-ray of longer wavelength or lesser energy are known as soft X-ray. These X-rays have low energy. Soft X-ray have energy 0.09 to 2.5 AeV range. So the range of the energy is very less, or these are the low energy X-rays, or the longer wavelength. They have longer wavelength, so these X-rays are called soft X-rays. For after filtration, these X-rays are absorbed and only hard X-rays or high energy X-rays are emitted to the filter, like inherent or added filtration. Hard X-rays. X-ray of higher energy is known as hard X-rays. These X-rays are useful for an imaging or treatment field. Useful form of X-ray, useful beam of X-ray. If the kinetic energy of the accelerating electrode increase, electrons increase, then cutoff wavelength will decrease. Further resulting into the production of X-ray and lower wavelength, which are known as hard X-ray. So, if the kinetic energy of accelerated electron increase, means the kinetic energy is high, the cutoff of wavelength will decrease. Wavelength cutoff will decrease, further resulting into production of X-ray. So, it results the production of X-ray of lower wavelength or higher energy, which are known as hard X-ray. So, hard X-ray are the useful beam that is used to imaging and treatment field. Okay, so in this session we have discussed about the soft and hard X-rays. So the filtration results the absorption of X-ray, low energy X-ray. Because only the high energy X-ray penetrate to the patient or from the image. The low energy X-rays are absorbed in the first 3 cm of tissue, thereby increasing the radiation dose. So the low energy X-ray only contribute in the increasing the radiation dose of the patient. The introduction of filter absorbs this low energy X-ray and reduce the patient's dose. Okay, thank you. In this session, we have discussed about the soft and hard X-ray beam and how the filter absorbs the low energy X-ray beam, which reduce the patient's dose. Thank you. Namaste. In today's session, we will discuss about the focal spot size or focal spot area. That is a session in the general radiation second for BSc second semester students. Okay, what is focal spot size? It is the area actually bombarded by the electron stream on the target. Okay, so focal spot area is divided into two types, or described into two types: actual and effective focal area. Actual focal area, it is the area actually where the electron stream is bombarded on the target. It can be larger or smaller in size. Okay, so it is a larger area, actual focal area, than the effective focal area. So it can be larger or smaller in size. A small focal spot is required for producing good radiographic detail, but it may also lead to overeating of target. So small focal spot produce good radiographic detail or image, but it may also lead to overeating the target. Means it produces high heat. So heat dissipation in case of small focal spot size is concerned. Whereas large focal spot allows greater heat loading but doesn't produce sharp images. Or good images. This problem is solved after the line focal principle. So what is the meaning of line focal principle? The target of an X-ray tube is mounted at very steep angle theta with respect to the motion of the incident electron. And the X-ray will appear to come from a small focal area, whereas the electron bombard relatively a large focal area. So where the electron is bombarded, that is the actual focal area, and from where the X-rays are placed, that is the effective focal area. Therefore, the heat is removed very quickly. And also the fixed reference is included. This is called the line focus principle. We can understand, we can easily understand the line focus principle or the focal size or focal spot size. By an example, consider the electrons that are made to strike on a target of length AB and width CD. Width CD, let us theta is the anode angle, then the CD means small length is equal to AB into sin theta multiplied by sin theta. The loading gain is equal to actual focal area divided by effective focal area. So actual focal area is the area where the electron emitted from the cathode filament strikes on the target. CD is the area from where the X-ray, useful X-ray beam is produced. So this session is over. In this session, we have discussed about the line focal principle, but mainly the focal spot sizes, different actual focal area or effective focal size or effective focal area. Okay, thank you. Namaste. In today's session, we will discuss about the construction of the X-ray tube. So the X-ray tube, construction of the X-ray tube is included on the course General Edition second in BSc RT second semester. Let us discuss about the construction of the X-ray tube. The X-ray tube consists these components, like first one is the glass envelope, second is the cathode, third one is the anode, and last is the protective housing. So let me discuss about the glass envelope. Glass envelope, it is made up of Pyrex glass, able to withstand tremendous heat. Means it is very much resistant from heat. Tube maintain a vacuum or tube window, a segment of glass that is thinner than the rest of the glass envelope. It contributes to inherent filtration 0.5 mm aluminum equivalent cathode assembly. Cathode, it is a negative charge electrode, two primary parts. First one is filament, second one is the focusing cup. So the focusing cup, metallic shroud containing the two filaments, usually made from nickel, contains a negative charge designed to repel electrons, designed to condense electron beam to small area on focal thread. Focusing cup. 4 factors determine the effectiveness of the cup. First one is the size and shape, second is the charge, third one is the filament size and shape, position of filament. Position of filament within cup. So this is the focusing cup that we have discussed, and now we are discussing about the filament. Filament is a small coil of radiated tungsten. Modern X-ray tube contains two filaments. They correspond to the focal spot fibers. When machine is turned on, small amount of current flows through heat filament. Tube current is adjusted by controlling the heating of filament or kilovoltage or potential, right? In the rotating anode X-ray tube, the cathode is a tungsten filament which is offset from the elongation of the X-ray tube to face the target near the periphery of the anode disk. Usually, rotating anode tubes are fitted with two filaments. One is larger than the other, placed side by side in the cathode assembly. One filament is designed to focus the electrons on a larger area of the anode which require heavy tube loading. The other filament is used to focus the electrons on a small area of target. This type is used when high resolution is required. Both filaments should focus the electron on the same part of the anode. So the focal spot is at the same point of both the modes of the operation. Some tubes provide two target angle for the filament, so that each filament will have a separate focal spot. Smaller angle is used with the smaller focal spot. Okay, so this is the cathode assembly or cathode. Next one is the anode. Anode is a positively charged electrode. There are two types of anode: stationary anode or rotating anode. Stationary anode. It is made up of tungsten target embedded in a large copper bar, usually used in dental X-ray machines. So stationary anode is usually used in dental X-ray machines. So rotating anode constructed of tungsten target open track, high melting point 3400 degrees Celsius. Molybdenum surrounds tungsten target area, assists in dissipating heat. Graphite serves as a mount for molybdenum and tungsten target. Rotating anode provides greater target area and greater heat dissipation, afford the ability to attain greater exposure load by providing a larger area for the electron beam to interact with the target. So the heating capacity is further enhanced with an increased RPM, rotation per minute, 3400 rotation per minute. Induction motor. Induction motor responsible for driving the rotating anode consists of two parts separated by the glass envelope. Works on the induction motor, works on the principle similar to the transformer, electromagnetic induction, current flowing in the stator develop a magnetic field, stator windings are sequentially energized so that the induced magnetic field rotates on the axis of the stator. This causes the rotor to rotate. Protective housing or housing. The tube housing. The tube housing supports, insulates and protects the tube insert from the environment surrounding and the tube insert. Especially oil is provided with heat conduction and electrical insulation. Many accurate tube housing contain bellows. As the oil expands excessively, the bellow activates a micro switch to so that the further use of tube is prevented. Okay. So in this session, we have discussed about the construction of the X-ray tube, the component of the X-ray tube. Like first one is the glass envelope, second is the cathode, third one is the anode, and the protective housing. These are the basic component or that the X-ray tube consists. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. The session is over. I think you all satisfied with the session. If you have any query, then put it into the comment box. I will resolve it later. Thank you. This session is powered by Digital Version 2.0, Jayoti Vidyapeeth Women's University.